Hello, my lovey. Welcome to another fantastic ZFG Living podcast. Today, we are joined by the wonderful Felicity Steiner, who is an amazing coach who helps people open themselves up so that they can attract the loves of their lives. Did I say that well enough, Felicity?
You did. Thank you so much, Melissa, for having me here. It's really a pleasure to be here with you today.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. So we were just chatting and I always feel like I hit record a couple of minutes too late after like the good stuff starts to flow. So just to bring everybody into the fold here, Felicity and I were talking about how when we want something, right? We want to change something about ourselves, something about our lives, okay? All the resources are at our fingertips now with the internet. And so you can get all the information that will do XYZ, do it every day for 3 months. And then that becomes a habit. Habits is what builds character, and what habits build who we are. Okay, great. You have the information, but then nothing changes because why? Like Felicity, share with me, why do you think sometimes when we get the information we need to change whatever it is, in your case, right, you're putting out all this amazing content about how we can magnetize ourselves so we get that partner.
Yeah. Well, great question. And it's a great topic. Uh, there is a huge amount of abundance of information out there. That is for sure. And the reality of the fact is that there are so many people who are not living their best life or the life that they want to live as they wish today in this red hot minute. And
Right.
there's a reason. There's a reason for that, because for me, it's not about the amount of the information. If it were to do with the information, then these people would have exactly what they want. But it is the implementation of the information that is the game changer. The
Right.
implementation and the accountability for that.
Oh, accountability is critical. And part of it too is that when we're affecting change internally, right? I'm always talking about work on your subconscious script. You got to get the trash out of there and put the good stuff in. And I mean, this is what I do. I'm deep in this world, and I still have to work on myself. And I was actually lamenting this morning. I had a bit of a pity party, not gonna lie. My coffee and I were there with the pity. And I was just like, man, there's just so much more of the work to do. And I've done so freaking much. And so another aspect of it is not only committing to doing the work and being consistent and getting that accountability, but it's also trying to make it fun or enjoyable. The end result is enjoyable, but sometimes it's just like, oh, great, I get to think about my craptastic childhood some more. Yahoo! Said no one ever. So what are some tips, or how do you motivate yourself and your clients to, keep those sleeves rolled up and a smile on the mug, or at least, not that terrible inner critic voice, right?
Right. Well, that's a great question. Well, I would always say that, look, let's see for what it really is. Us as human beings, we're beacons of energy, and we've got the empowered masculine and we've got the empowered feminine. So when we're doing something, when we're not in creative force, we are in our empowered, hopefully empowered masculine. And when we're grinding it every day, we're in that masculine energy. But I think it's really important to also be able to kick in that empowered feminine energy. And that's the fun part. That's the fun part, where you get to sit back, receive, have that mug of coffee, go have a chocolate, go eat a cake, do whatever it is you want, but know that what you've done in your masculine is now going to translate into your feminine, and you can receive.
I love it. So you had a great analogy in one of your videos where you talked about, you go to the gym, you do your exercises, and okay, done. You've ticked the box. You don't need to think about it every day, like, or it's just finished. So tell me more about that, about doing the interior work and then not having to be revisiting it constantly.
Yeah, that's a big one, because obviously if you're revisiting it, then what are you doing? You're just staying stuck in that stagnant energy. That's the thing. And are you going to actually create the life you want to be when your mind is stuck on something? No, no. So when you're at the gym and you're doing like 100 press ups or push ups, whatever it is you do, you go there, you do your thing, and then you leave the gym and you get on with your day. So ideally people want to be doing that as well when they are doing their daily tasks. They get on with their daily tasks, they know that they have to do them. Okay, that's going to get them from A to B to C, etc. to Z. But then they let it go and they go and enjoy their day. And that's where the magic happens. When they let go, that's where the magic happens.
I love it. It's like the story of the, the little finger puzzles that you put in their wicker. And when you're moving your fingers and you're trying to get them out, it just gets tighter and tighter. And then when you relax, that's when everything can happen. And I must confess, as I was working through all of my debilitating shenanigans and, thoughts that didn't serve me and my inner critic and all those good things. If I would have read one more time about how just as soon as I was happy with myself and not even worried about it, everything came together. I just was going to beat my head on the wall because I was working so hard, like in that masculine energy, like you said. And it just, I mean, because like my life was in shambles. I mean, my husband had told me he wanted a divorce. I traveled to visit my sisters. A huge hurricane hit and I lost everything. So it was just a disaster of a time. So naturally, I decided to marry the first person I went on a date with. Not on that date, but months later, terrible marriage number two. And so then getting out of that and realizing I was the person creating all of this horror, all this terrible, chaotic living situation, and being able to knuckle down and dig into that. How do we know when we need to just say, okay, you've been working and now let's go, like you say, get on with your day, do something else?
Great question. Well, I think it's really important to know, okay, where is the ego in all of this? Because the driving force in the masculine energy is the ego saying, we need to do this in order to achieve that. So being able to temper that ego, getting familiar with what that ego looks like for each person, and being able to know where one's limits are. So if somebody is coming from a place of anxiety, neediness, lack, desperation, fear, then we know that they've gone too far. I want to know every single person, what is the intention behind their action? Why are they doing what they are doing? And it's with the intention that we can start putting limits and saying, okay, this is where we can get to. Now it's time to back off. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That is, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your expertise with us today and the work you do to help people have that amazing, gorgeous relationship. That's the stuff. I mean, that's the fabric of living right there. So I tip my hat to you, Felicity. Felicity Steiner here. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.